read. I can't see anything. Eyes are going bad. So Priscilla's here. Oh, hi. How are you? So I was looking at the UFO hearing. I guess we're live somewhere. Or maybe not. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, so it's interesting. It sounds pretty truthful overall. Of course, I haven't listened to the whole thing, but it's funny how they keep talking about the shadow government. You know, they can't say things for obvious reasons, and of course, this being bringing this stuff up, whoever it might be, doesn't have to be in front of Congress. Of course, them talking about in Congress it sounds pretty legit. I mean, I don't know all the story or how much is being disinfoed or whatever it is, but either way, it's still being brought into the public, and that's pretty ballsy. Well, they especially talk about if I can read it right. 4 different alien species: Greys, Nordics, reptilian, and insectoids have visited Earth. I'm not sure how many times they brought that up, but so it's little by little, it's progress. But it's similar to like the whole GFK thing. It's just redacted. But they are talking about some, is this going to turn into like a UFO? It's like a future timeline. It's, who knows? Anything. It's fake alien invasion and all that. I don't think they have enough balls for that. I don't think they're that organized to handle something like that. I imagine it's definitely been on the cards. If they do a fake alien invasion, it's like, whichever way fuck people up, they did it. Just one of the re-engineered ships. Of course, they talked about all that, but that's kind of old anyway. But still making it public is still something, though. And the Mountain family, and so shit. Well, it's some kind of progress, right? So, kind of lost my train of thought on that. Yeah, obviously they don't want this out, but it's baby steps. But for the if they do any type, not that they would, but if they do anything like it's like an alien invasion, they'll do it like with they'll have at least one craft show up and do whatever it wants to do, kidnap people, whatever it is, and then disappear, something like that. So at least that's the frequency I'm picking up on. The Brazil's here, just sitting on my lap right now, which is kind of rare when I do these. I guess I need all the help I can get, huh? Yeah, seriously. And then it's not just the whistleblower stuff, but it's just obviously those that are reincarnated here to assist with the awakening, obviously, or whatever the hell we're doing. Yeah, it sucks. It's similar to whistleblowing, just no one takes it seriously. Not that it really matters anyway. Most of Kool-Aid heads anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, talk about the SSB and all the adventures and stuff. Like, fuck. Make it entertainment. Just give the people what they want. Give them spiritual entertainment. And be done with it. Give me a freaking break. Describe a ship or something like that. For when you get into like, I guess a level of secrecy, you can't even describe. I'm not allowed to remember anything. I just know this is the mission, and that's about it. And protect it to some level. Of course, you can't protect your insanity level. And you're allowed to be on the earth, but you have everything stripped away. You live among them, but you can't live with them. If that makes any sense. So, not really. Nope. They do everything they can to fuck you up. Boy, have they. There seems to be no end to it either. Yeah, if you're just a regular person, man, they might have struggles and stuff, but they can still attract some kind of experience or something like that. When you're doing this shit, fuck you. Just go insane, go off yourself and get it over with. Seriously. Like a suicide mission, basically. Comic private sessions, maybe. Schedule it. Shop here. Yeah, it's definitely a suicide mission. Oh yeah, so the Galactic, I'm getting some of this. I don't go into this type of stuff. I mean, for a while I wasn't talking about the aliens at all, ever since Visitation, not too long ago. Of course, not. Well, they had the Congress thing, something, But the other thing about the felines, of course, there's always different perspectives. That's one thing they did not mention was the cat people. So, but think like so however you look at our galaxy and and the formation of the modern human. Of course, I felt at least other places there's been versions of human, other realms. This is not the only place, but we're like this. We had come from the feline human. We still have our DNA. Of course, the feline and the reptilian got together and had a baby or something like that, or combined their DNA and so on. That's part of it. That has to do with galactic wars, of course. But galactic wars, if you want to go into, we just look at it from the war perspective of it. You can look at it from the hybridization programs, but if you look at it from the war perspective, so you have feline beings that get kidnapped and just like here, basically. And then they slice and dice them. And they create other species out of that, which is the rabbit, the canine. Of course, you can look at it, like I said, it's different points of view, so take it for wherever, If you try to say it's my way or the highway, that's just kind of ignorant to do that anyway, because everyone sees things differently. But that's, I just don't bring it up very often, but, or at all, but it's just been coming up. I've just been feeling it recently for some reason. I'm not sure what's going on with that. But think of that. So think of like feline race, just minding their own business, humanoid, doing their thing, just not messing with anybody. Then reptilian beings can show up, or archon beings also, and everyone else is a pain in the ass. Insectoid beings, they kidnap. In the beginning, before there was any war, they kidnap a feline human and just do ungodly things to it, and and you can look at like a lot of during the Galactic Wars. Like I said, there's different points of view. Obviously, they went to serious, but who's to say they didn't have, they already had cats there already. Like Orion, of course, does invasions too. So you can go on with this. They just go after the cat people and do as they want. And I think one of the things about the human, this one version of this was because the cats almost, at least that's what I'm feeling from them, felt like they were going to be extinct. And so the human was like, that was controversial too. So just a hairless human, a hairless cat, basically. And so on. Of course, they have a whole detail, like your ears and all that. It all comes from other races and all that. And so, but either way, we're definitely a root of the feline, and so on. And you can say also, like I say, you see it from different points of view, but the reptilian connecting to the feline, with us, is to kind of keep us alive, to keep us going. Like the strength, you have the strength of the feline, but also you have the strength of the reptilian. Of course, you have the darkness of both, and then you have a world like ours. So it's like we're sort of a hybrid, psychopaths. Some of that's here. But it's too much. It's a lot of, of course, when you give a lot of fourth dimensional energy, things get out of hand. It's like too much power, especially for a human. Even higher frequencies, they can, you can be drunk on power there too. You can misuse it on all levels. So, well, because this, you can say what we are right now hasn't really been done before, and that's why they don't know what the hell, where it's going to turn, what's going to happen. At least in the past. Of course, now they very cautious. But yeah, this is like a human experiment gone wrong, but we're still, doesn't mean it's the woman doom, but we'll see. And so, like I say, take us all for whatever it is. So we have the whole tariff thing. They're crying about that. So the economy is going to get worse. Apple is interesting to see that. Anything's possible, like with Apple. I mean, they'll still exist, but maybe not as they are today. It happens all the time. They're not doing anything. Fuck. Talk about just living off of success and doing nothing. God, being successful, just keep, just pumping out the same thing over and over again. Golly, man. Just change the color a little bit, make it faster, make it skinnier, fatter, whatever the hell it is. And that's it. It's like, how long can that last? So, and it'll become, probably down in price at some point too, somehow. But yeah, we're in kind of a strange turning point where it's almost like our reality can be flipped upside down. We're kind of given, it's hard to say we're in the early stages of it. And you can say Trump here to sabotage everything. Could be. He has help. So it's not just him. You can say that. But either way, it's already been in the setup of our demise anyway. So just either way, idea is just you can't worry about it. Well, you can just prepare somehow, mentally at least, because nobody really knows what's going to happen. But if you look at like 2020, we saw like China shutting down, and then it just kind of grows. Like, oh, that'll never come over here. It went worldwide, so never thinking that would happen because it never really happened before. So this tariff thing can get really. It's not just that. There's other things going on, of course. And this month can be just a turning. I feel this middle of May. A turning point to what things to come. So we'll just have to wait and see. And you just gotta keep living and doing your thing. As much you can. If the purge occurs, the purge occurs. Like Hollywood isn't like what it used to be. I mean, that's falling apart. Never thought that would happen. Of course, now Netflix is putting out every piece of crap known to man. They thought they made mediocrity in the past. Now they're really. Well, people aren't watching this stuff too. They're just creating programming so you can run it in the background while you do other stuff. It was just garbage. Some of it's good probably, but a lot of it's not. But that's probably nothing new actually. So Either way, yeah, we're in the UFO stuff. You can say that's just, because people aren't taking it seriously, obviously, on the home front. Some are, but on a larger scale, people don't care. On a larger level, and they got other things to do anyway, but it just shows that the alien vibes are here. And they are working where, help turning, or obviously not going to have a Congress. I mean, who knows? If the whole world goes upside down one day, it's like they'll have another UFO hearing. So did the aliens do this shit or what? It's like, of course, there's no proof of anything. Not physically, but, technically, yes. Did it start World War II? Yes. Started World War One? Yes. They did a lot of other things, too. To get us where we are here, so we can stare at our phones and not talk to each other or whatever the fuck we're doing. And the AI stuff is, love it or hate it, it is, depending on how you use it, it can be more of a higher frequency. Well, it's like, you're bringing it up with probably building a spaceship. You can kind of do that, sort of. Not yet, maybe, probably not, but maybe who knows. But you have to have all the materials and stuff like that. We're not there, but you could talk to the damn thing and tell them to give you the schematics how to fucking do it. And it doesn't mean you'll do it, but we're at the level of the ideas for higher productivity, and people still will be here doing stuff. It'll change. It might be less people here. Not that a lot of people are doing anything here anyway. I mean, are they doing anything? They're just copying each other, not doing shit. So, we're on the street. So, yeah, it's a weird. Yeah, there's still be people here. It's not going to go away, but AI is just sort of. If you use it right, it can help us evolve. Of course, we're not thinking like we can't. It's whatever. It's just some are becoming too reliant of it. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. Whatever. So, as I connect to the Feline, of course, realize this is all perspective. Everyone has their own. Some people have their adventure stories they have to connect to, their SSP torture rooms they need to connect to, or their religious figures they need to grab onto. So, whatever, right? Because welcome to hell. Spiritual hell. And you have the New Agers that some of them are NPCs, some of them are human wallpaper. Just high vibrational wallpaper. Just there to look good. That's nice. So, whatever. Fuck this place. Yeah, this world. Yeah, I don't see this world as it. Yeah, it's just. Yeah, these incarnations are. You just gotta get through it. Yeah. I wouldn't wish this on anybody. That's for damn sure. I don't think people can survive. Just because you can survive this crap doesn't mean you need to go through it. But damn, dude. It's brutal. Outside the Matrix is not. I think outside the Matrix fucking sucks. And again, living in it's not that great either. But oh well. All right, so going to a few lines, go a little bit of that perspective. Obviously, it's a wound within the. I mean, to go back into that a little bit. I mean, we have a lot of cats here for some freaking reason. We have dogs here too. Dogs there to help psychological side, especially. A lot of the dogs here have been so tampered with because they have breathing problems and stuff like that. Of course, people do too. So, of course, dogs are just another child. Of course, cats are too, but dogs are more the four-legged people, basically. And then cats are there to clear out our frequency, so and tell us to shut the fuck up, get out of our way, or working. So anyway, all right, we're going to the cats and just a short connection there. Blessings. Greetings with the felines. This is a disastrous galactic history with the human. Basically, you can say we were surprised that humans even survived all of this, and it does. You are like the next generation of galactic wars, as some of you are aware of that, and so it just shows the war is not over due to why your world is the way it is. And of course, there's reasons that not even we can go into why your world is so locked down. But it's so difficult for you to, become aware of your galactic surroundings and so on. Why aren't you aware? Why isn't this taught in schools about galactic wars? You're looking at all your animal species have all been through some kind of trauma. And that is why they look the way they do, and everything that's there. Of course, they're finding a more peaceful time here. Animals find some kind of, clarity. They don't want to. They don't. Most of them don't want a war. They're going through the stress of their incarnation. Also, of course, they bring the knowledge here to assist you through this process. Of course, they're learning a great deal also. So it's just, you could say that there's a lot of galactic groups that, wanted to test the feline beings and the reptilians. So they pull out every disgusting dark being they can get their hands on to split, to cause life, to break out of comfort zones, to bring in a new age and a vicious one. It's there to destroy, but also to create at the same time. And yes, the strongest do survive. And it's not pretty. Yes, some of you obviously have difficulties with it. But it's like anything else in life. You want to live the easy life or the hard life, or everyone to live with some kind of challenge, but there are challenges that even on an astral level, it's like, I am not going through that. And it actually gets pulled back. But also, it can stunt one's growth, but either way, it's fine. You're living all what you can handle here, and that is fine. So it's a lot to take in. Of course, as a human, you only can take in so much. Obviously, this is the galactic connections, and some get overloaded with all these different realities. You don't know what to believe, where they're going, and so on. Well, the short answer is yes, you're part of galactic trauma. And not quite at the level of society is not at the level. Some of you are at the level. Very few. And others want to just know, well, it's just there's certain knowledge that just cannot come into the mainstream just yet. Your world will be a totally different place. And how many people here are going to want to even allow the idea of you being connected to other, animal life, your felines, reptilians, and so on, insectoids? It's a lot. And some just want to get through their day. And say, by the way, you have insectoid incarnations, and insectoids took the human and did all kinds of things to it, and one part of why you are here, they assisted your incarnation process. And this is not for it'll get to the mainstream if the mainstream people are ready for or want it or so on. Obviously, they're rejecting it because it's too much. You can say it's manipulation, it's all that, but it really has to do with your collective not wanting it just yet. But you are laying it out for them, and it's a little bit much. And yes, the world has to change at some point where this is no longer ignored. You have a museum, you're living in its nature, so how connected you are to everything is quite immense. But also, the human race, can you get yourselves out of, can it pull yourself out of the hell dimensions? Yes, but how many feel like they belong there for eternity? That's the thing. There's many here that don't feel like they're worth anything, And so they stay in their purgatory. Many of you are going to continue to evolve, but as you can see, many are still in their own little hell, and they just refuse to let it go. Doesn't mean this world's a lost cause or anything. It's just, does make things more difficult, that's all. Not to say all have to get on the same level and just believe all of this. It's just several different points of view. And that's why it was like the fall of your world, you can say. Different points of view. Some say you're just doing fine. Others saying there's something not right here. But not enough. Nobody was believing it. So, your reality currently still has a lot to heal, as you can see. So it's piece by piece. That's all we have to say.